Hey guys, Saki from sakitech, and in today's video what we're going to do is we are going to be reviewing the brand new Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. This is Samsung's brand new Fan Edition smartphone, which is basically a value flagship at a dramatically reduced price tag of $629, which is half the cost of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Now, the key appeal of the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE is that despite some compromises, it retains many quality and flagship features from the S23 flagship lineup. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to do a deep dive looking at every aspect from design, display, camera, performance, and much more to see if this is a valid option to buy for people looking for a budget S23 option without having to spend $1,200 on the apex predator, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And of course, at the end of the video, we're going to give you a summary with pros and cons for this product. And of course, the links to buy the S23 FE are going to be down below at the lowest pricing and with the best incentives in case you are interested. So let's dive in and start by talking about the build quality. Now, the build quality on this smartphone is what you would expect from a $600 phone. On the front, we have Gorilla Glass 5. On the rear, we have a shiny finish. This is not a matte finish, but this is also Gorilla Glass 5. And then around the edges of the device, we do have an aluminum finish, which is matte, and it does look very, very nice. You can see we have a speaker at the bottom. We have nothing on this side. And we do have a microphone and the SIM card tray on the top and the volume rocker and the power button on the side. Now, there are a total of 3 microphones on this phone. There's one here and then one over here, those little holes. And then there is one on the top right over here. This one is for the SIM card tray. You poke the hole, it just comes out. All right, so let's talk about the display. So let's go to the settings and let's go over to display. Okay, and the first thing I want to show you guys real quick is we do have a 120 Hertz display refresh rate. Now, you do have the option to switch between standard 60 or adaptive 120, which is going to get you that smooth scrolling effect. That is great that we have it. And I do want to let you know that the resolution on this smartphone is in fact 1080 by 2340 pixels. It is a 6.4-inch display and it does support HDR10+, which is fantastic. And the maximum peak brightness on this product is going to be 1450 nits, which means it's going to be crystal clear in daytime conditions, even under direct sunlight. So the display specs are in fact impressive, and it's going to be a great phone to consume media on, like watching movies, YouTube videos, anime, music videos, whatever you want. It's going to look great on this display. And talking about the display, another great thing is we do have stereo speakers. So we have 2 speakers, one on the top, one at the bottom. And then when I go to sounds and vibration, and if I scroll down, I can go to sound quality and effects. And we do have access to Dolby Atmos sound, which is going to get you that surround sound experience. Obviously not at the level of dedicated speakers that you buy separately, but it is very good for a phone. You also have access to Dolby Atmos for gaming. So when you are gaming, you can also activate Dolby Atmos. And then you have some options like the equalizer. You can choose these presets or make your own custom equalizer. That's going to be up to you as well. So with a great display and great speakers, you are going to be having a great multimedia experience. No question about that. Now, compared to the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, the speakers are slightly less loud and slightly less clear, but nothing dramatic. These are still great speakers. Now, the only critique I have of the display is the size of these bezels. I believe these bezels should have been the same as the Samsung Galaxy S23 or the 23 Plus. Now, this may or may not matter to you. Now, as far as security is concerned, we do have an optical fingerprint sensor. So let's test that out. So I'm going to double tap to turn it off and double tap to wake it up. I'm going to press on it. Okay, works great. Let's do that one more time. Again, this is an optical fingerprint sensor. It is not an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. But it does work the way it should. Now, under security and privacy, if I go into biometrics, you can see we also can do face unlock by registering your face. But of course, the fingerprints are going to be more secure. All right, so in the camera department, what we have is we have triple rear cameras. We have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera right here. We have a 50 megapixel main camera over here. And then this one right over here is an 8 megapixel telephoto camera. It is capable of 3 times optical zoom and 30 times hybrid zoom. Let's look at some examples and see how they perform. So here's a photo with 50 megapixel main camera. You can see it is a crisp, clear shot. It's got great dynamic range. Now the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, again, great clear shot. And here's one more example with the 50 megapixel main camera. Here's a side-by-side shot with the main and the ultra-wide cameras. And here's one more example. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing, both with the wide and the ultra-wide camera. Now let's move on and look at some video footage, some selfies, and then we're gonna look at night photos. So overall, I'm very satisfied with daytime photos and video. Very clear, very smooth in daytime conditions. Here's some selfie shots. One of them is in portrait mode and one of them is in regular selfie mode. To me, they both look pretty good. Notice how the edge detection is very good for the portrait mode. Let's move on to low light photos, and we're going to compare them with Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And you can see for a phone that is half the price of the S23 Ultra, this phone is keeping up really, really good. So you can look at the pictures and you can see the S20 FE is retaining detail. It is handling the light very well. All these are handheld shots using the night mode. In some cases, I prefer the S23 FE, like the photo of this truck right here. And now let's look at some video samples so you can see how nice and stabilized it is at nighttime as well. Now the first video here is 1080p at 60 FPS. You can see it's nice and stable, all right? Very clear for this nighttime videography. Now this next video is going to be the S23 Ultra. I will let you know it is a little bit clearer, but there is not a huge difference between the two, especially considering the price difference. Now, one more thing I want to let you know is this phone is in fact capable of recording up to 8K at 24 frames per second. I do recommend using this mode only for still videos. It is not that great when it comes to moving videos at 8K resolution. It is going to be a little bit choppy. And one more thing to know is when you are recording at 1080p or 4K, you are not able to switch between different lenses like the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. So all you can do with full high definition at 60 FPS is use the main 50 megapixel camera. Now if I switch to 30 frames per second, now I can switch between different lenses. Just something to keep in mind. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is the performance. Now, this smartphone does have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, and that's what you're going to get in United States and Canada. The rest of the world is going to get Exynos 2200. Now, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor is the same processor found in the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, so you're getting that level of flagship performance. This is a powerful chip. It is not the latest, but it is no different than the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra as far as performance is concerned. Now, one thing that I'm going to talk about that I don't like is if you buy this phone, you can either get 128 gigabytes or maximum 256 gigabytes of storage. This one right here is the 128GB model, which I don't recommend. I would go with the 256. But with that limitation of 256, you also do not get a micro SD expansion option. So if you are going to buy this phone, I would recommend to get the one with the maximum capacity, especially if you are going to be taking a lot of photos and recording a lot of video. But as far as performance is concerned, playing games on this thing is no problem. It plays the latest games without stutter, without lag, in a smooth fashion. It'll basically be able to handle any game you throw at it from the Play Store. Now, when it comes to the battery, another slight disappointment. The battery is in fact 4500 milliamp hours. We would have preferred it to be 5000 milliamp hours, but you still get a full day of use. It does have fast charging, so here's the stats for the charging. If your battery is dead, you can go from 0 to 50 in 30 minutes. To charge from 0 to 100, it is going to take you around 1 hour. It does support wireless charging and also supports reverse wireless charging, which means you can charge other devices compatible with wireless charging right on the back of the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. So certainly it has a lot of features. Now, one big question a lot of people are asking is, does this phone support DeX? The answer is yes. In fact, it supports all forms of DeX in full capacity. So if I go to connected devices and if I go to Samsung DeX, what you can do is you can do wired or wireless Samsung DeX to a high definition TV or your computer. So you get the full DeX flagship functionality found on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, no problem. Another great thing is this phone is going to get 4 years of OS updates, and also it is going to be getting 5 years of security updates. So that means if you have Android 13 right now, you are going to be covered for 14, 15, 16, and 17. So you can buy this phone long term without having to feel like you are going to be lagging behind with the software. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video, and my overall impression of this phone is that it is a rock-solid smartphone. Like I said, it is half the price of the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra with all the right compromises. But here is a list of pros and cons you want to look at. It does have a great display and great speakers. The performance is the same as the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is great. You do get some rock-solid cameras for the price, both for photos and videos, and you do get the full DeX functionality. The cons: we don't have a micro SD expansion option, and the maximum storage capacity is 256 gigabytes, which might be limiting to some people. And again, these pros and cons are relative to the $600 price tag. So that's it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below and let me know. And if you want to buy this phone, the links are going to be down below as well. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.